Hello there, George, mate. How you doing?
Good to see you. Long time no see.
Yeah, it is.
You've aged like a fine wine, my friend.
You rascal. So, mate, let's just have a little chat about veganism, really. Like, I'm making these videos. I'm doing a diet for a week, trying out raw veganism. So I thought we'd get our vegan guru. And George is a prominent member of the vegan community on Facebook, quite the militant vegan as well. Taking no shit. Right, George, let's start off with, like, how did you become vegan? I mean, what made you want to be vegan, and what, like, sort of triggered it? What was that moment where you actually did it?
First thing that triggered it, I guess, was it was in late 2012 when I was on Facebook. And the grime artist JME shared a video called Best Speech You'll Ever Hear, which obviously many people watching will be familiar with. It's a speech by animal rights activist Gary Ruski. And he just said, watch this, watch the whole thing. And I watched it with an open mind. There were things I didn't like about what he said. It wasn't nice to hear the things he was saying. It wasn't nice to hear. I'll just describe what it is quickly first. Basically, this lecturer, Gary Ruski, he just talks to a classroom basically about why they should go vegan, and he plays them footage of the things that happen in slaughterhouses. He refutes all the myths about nutrition, and he basically gives everyone watching it no excuse really as to why they shouldn't be able to go vegan. As I say, I didn't like hearing the things he was saying at first. I didn't like acknowledging that I was responsible for the biggest Holocaust in the history of the world, or that I was paying for for abuse on such a mass scale.
Yeah, someone suggested that what you were doing was wrong, you know, and it's not nice to hear that, is it? Exactly.
But instead of taking offence, I decided to take responsibility, and I said, maybe these are some things I should take on board. And as soon as I watched the speech, I phoned my mate up about it and spoke to him about it, tried to convince him to watch it. He was having none of it at first. He was like, that's all bollocks. I was like, no, seriously. Next thing I know, he's ringing me up saying, oh my God. And we decided we needed to do it. So that was that's what lit the match, so to speak.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, link me that video and we'll put that in the description below as well, so anyone can have a read of that.
Yeah, we'll. Yeah.
Sounds pretty good. And so you pretty much went vegan straight away after that. You just decided to, did you cut everything out, or did you slowly sort of phase it out over a week or so, or what?
Basically, what I did was, I was kind of hesitant at first, and I was sort of running through it. I knew it was something I should really do. But for the next coming months, I was sort of playing out little scenarios in my head, that didn't really, weren't really good justifications. I was saying to myself, stuff like, oh, but I might, swat a wasp or something if one was to come near me. Stuff that just in no way justifies the wholesale slaughter of animals for food. And for the record, I wouldn't even swat a bug now. But then over time, I just exposed myself to more material. I was eating meat and animal products, by the way, this whole following months after watching the speech. But exposing myself to more and more stuff. And then in January, me and my mate just said, that's it, let's do it. I think it was January the 8th. We just decided to go on a massive shop. And we went cold turkey on this. There was no transitional phase, there was no vegetarianism, no slowly phasing out animal products. We just did a huge shop, filled up our trolleys to the brim, and made sure our cupboards were stocked with wholesome plant foods. Yeah.
So you went cold turkey without actually eating the turkey then?
Yeah. Probably the wrong term. That's basically what I did, and I've never looked back since then. So it was actually, despite seeing the speech in late 2012, it was actually early 2013 that I went vegan.
So I guess after seeing that, it kind of put the idea in your head. You believed that you could do it, and then, like you said, you kind of made those scenarios in your head whereby you taught yourself that you could do it. You kind of, eating something that's meat or that's animal based and saying to yourself, this is wrong and I know this is wrong, that's what spurs it, I guess, isn't it? Once you believe it.
Of course.
Okay.
As I say, I was just, I guess it was a form of cognitive dissonance, right? I was playing out because I didn't like what I'd heard, and it's horrible when you're. It's a very habitually addictive thing, eating meat and animal products. It's just part of your everyday, right? Mm-hmm. If you're a full-blown meat eater. And so when you hear that there's something that conflicts with those views, you want to try and rationalise the unjustifiable. You try to justify the unjustifiable, mm-hmm. and you start playing out these silly excuses in your head, silly scenarios that don't make sense. And that's what I was doing, and it was sort of prolonging it.
Oh, I see.
But no, you have to just grit your teeth and bear it.
Okay. No worries. So let's go on to the next one. I don't want to run out of battery in that.
Yeah. Cool.
So I mean, obviously, I know you make a lot of posts on Facebook, and you've got the blog Zinedine Vegan. We'll put that in the description as well.
Yeah, for anyone watching who knows me on Facebook, by the way, and you're thinking, what? George has a blog? I do. It is in a very dusty corner of the internet somewhere. I haven't touched it in years. It's called Zinedine Vegan, as Ant says, and some of you who are on my friends list will have seen this, but most of you won't have. I'm planning to do something a bit fresher and newer in the near future, but for the while, yeah, that's my current, haven't touched it yet.
Cool. I look forward to that then. Okay, so as this is going to be a raw vegan diet, can we say anything about what potentially could happen physiologically and nutritionally by going raw vegan over just standard vegan?
There are certain differences because of how the way energy and nutrients are broken down when we cook things and when we digest things, right? I mean, it's a very human-specific trait to cook, and it's very likely one of the things that gave us such good efficiency for our brain over evolution. Not meat. Meat did not play any kind of role in there in the evolution of the human brain, despite what people will tell you.
I mean, that was more of a survival aspect, wasn't it? I mean, winter times came, we're out in the cold. You have to do what you have to do to survive.
Exactly. It was a survival food, but the thing that very much likely played part in the expansion of the human brain was cooking food. Mm-hmm. Cooking allowed us to break down nutrients that we otherwise either wouldn't have been able to digest, or that our body would have actually required more energy to digest. However,
I agree. Yeah,
there are certain aspects about raw veganism that counter that, because a lot of people tend to overcook food, and so raw veganism is a very good way of, if you have got the sort of body that can break down those nutrients. For example, you're a good chewer. We should always be chewing our food very thoroughly. I'm a crap chewer. I just shovel everything in. So raw veganism probably isn't for me.
You should. So you're saying you're right. With cooking, it breaks down the nutrients, and so you're saying by chewing the food very thoroughly, that is going to do that job of cooking in a way where you're going to have everything broken down, ready for your body to digest.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
And I eat a lot. All vegans really eat, well, most vegans eat plenty of raw foods anyway. Mm-hmm. So I do eat plenty of raw foods, but I also eat plenty of cooked foods.
Cool.
So I wouldn't personally go raw vegan, but whatever encourages people to stop killing animals, basically, do what works for you. I don't mind if you have differing views on the biology of it, whether it's healthy or not. That's of no interest.
Yeah, so
I said no interest. That's not a massive concern of mine.
I see.
As long as it gets you to stop harming animals, that's fine.
Well, yeah, that was, I'd say, is the mission then, just to get people onto not eating animal-based products. Get people onto not eating animal-based products.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always, in fact, a lot of people.
Camera died. Okay, hang on. So, I think what we covered there was pretty good for just like the first session.
Cool.